Welcome to Sleek Notes E-Commerce Boost Podcast, your chance to learn from the e-commerce experts so you can boost your business.
Hey folks, welcome to yet another episode of E-Commerce Boost. Today you'll meet Tracey Wallace, who's the Editor-in-Chief at BigCommerce. She'll tell you everything you need to know about the dynamics of omnichannel selling, including why your visitors abandon cart and what you can do to get them to finish their purchase. This episode is a must for everyone who wants to learn a lot more about the customers and how to please them. And who doesn't? So let's just start. Tracey, welcome so much on your show. Really happy to have you here.
Of course. Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Good. Can you maybe just start out by introducing yourself?
Sure. Yeah. So I am Tracey Wallace. I'm the editor-in-chief over at BigCommerce, which sounds fancy, but mostly just means that I run our blog and case study programs and really just help place content around the web. I also talk quite frequently to a lot of BigCommerce customers. So vast majority of them making more than 5 million in annual revenue. Probably talk to three to five of those a week. Really just trying to understand what's working, how did you get here, how fast did you grow, what isn't working, and then try to distill all of that information into growth tactics that other people can read and learn and begin to implement.
Okay, so this episode is going to be all about the dynamics of omnichannel selling and buyer habits. So can you maybe just explain why e-commerces need to know about the dynamics of omnichannel selling?
Sure. Yeah. They need to know about it because most of them are doing it. They're doing omnichannel selling already. Most online stores aren't just selling on their web store. A lot of them are also selling on Amazon, a lot on eBay. Some of them have brick and mortars or pop-up shops that they do. They're often working with affiliates. Maybe they're selling on Facebook or Instagram or advertising on Facebook or pushing something through Pinterest. There are a lot of different places and different ways to sell. So that's essentially what omnichannel means. So there's two terms that people often kind of throw around. So omnichannel retail, which means omni, right? So all inclusive, that includes brick and mortar. So that means you're a store who sells at least in brick and mortar and online. And then multi-channel means that you're a store that sells on your own web store and then probably in at least one or two other marketplaces, whether that's Amazon, eBay, Facebook shops, things like that.
Cool, interesting. So you don't have to have an actual offline store to be a multi-channel or omnichannel.
You do. So the omnichannel term does also mean that you have a brick and mortar, but multi-channel is like a version of omnichannel, and you don't have to have a brick and mortar to be considered multi-channel.
Brilliant. Where do many e-tailers struggle with their omnichannel initiative today? Do you see any common sort of struggles or challenges?
Yeah, for sure. So I think the biggest struggle is understanding who shops where, why, what do they buy, and how do those people like to be spoken to or treated? What's the experience that they're looking for? So, just imagine for a moment, yourself. All of us are our own best kind of test case and like, what do I like to do when I'm online? So imagine yourself on a web store versus on Amazon and the kind of shopping mentality that you're in. On a website, or outside of Amazon, you're probably looking, for, a lot of social proof. You're trying to understand who this brand is. Is it, something that you feel like you kind of want to bring into this curated life that we're all making when we buy products? Versus on Amazon, a lot of times on Amazon, you are a little bit more just ready to buy, I suppose, where you're reading through bullets really quickly, like, okay, cool, this has good stars, whatever. All right, okay, wait, what are some of these other products? How quickly am I going to get it? You're thinking about things very, very differently. And so where a lot of retailers tend to struggle is understanding what information they should put on various product pages, what images should go there, what's going to ultimately make people convert in the channel that they find them at that point in time. And so that's essentially what the report that we publish is really trying to do, is kind of uncover who shops where, how often do they shop there, what's most important to them in those particular channels, and help retailers understand how they should talk to their customers and what products maybe to even put on certain channels because you don't have to have your whole catalog in every single channel. So we're just trying to help people understand how best to optimize for omnichannel across the board.
Brilliant, because this study, obviously, as you just said, to learn more about the modern online shopping. So let's just sort of jump in that study and start from the beginning. So who shops online?
Everybody. Everybody shops online. I think there was like less than like 1% of people who said that they had not shopped online like at all in the past 5 years. Everybody shops online. We actually did another article not too long ago. I think it was just published a couple of days ago, where I asked a bunch of e-commerce business owners and experts, if there was a vertical or niche that they could launch into, what would that be? Or if they were going to open a new store. And one of the big answers that came out of that was, I would target retirees, because they're in a new genre of life, even for themselves, right? They just retired, they have a lot more time, but they're tech savvy. They're online a lot. They're looking for products. They understand how the online e-commerce world works. And so a lot of them are like, I would launch to that sector, which historically hasn't been a sector that has been well served by online, because the assumption was that they didn't understand how to use technology, and they very much do. So everybody shops online across the board, at least in the US and the UK, Australia, Canada, places with internet access in general.
Now that's really enough reason to keep listening, isn't it? So everyone shops online. Let's get to know the average online shopper better. Here's Tracey explaining where customers spend more money and how you as an e-commerce can adapt to that behavior.
Yeah, so customers tend to spend more money offline. And I think that's been the case for a little while. One, they tend to spend more money offline. And then even when you look online, customers tend to spend more still on desktop than they will on mobile. And again, there's a variety of reasons for that. With offline in particular, you just have to imagine, if you're going to go buy something that's $500, a lot of people want to see that in person. They want to touch it. They want to make sure that it works. So for a lot of those purchases, people will do their research online, and then you actually see them going into stores to buy things like that. Similar kind of with the desktop, right? And price point here is just average order value in general. So price point for a particular item tends to be the big driver. If something is less than $50, mobile probably works really well for folks. If it's more than that, people want to do a little bit more research. They want to sit on it and think on it a little bit longer, and then they'll ultimately go make a purchase on desktop. So price seems to be the big factor there, where the more money you're spending, the more you want to be engaged with the product and check it out, whether that's offline, desktop, mobile, just across the board. It seems to be a trend.
Oh, cool. Is there any way e-commerce stores can adapt to this behavior?
Yeah. So if you have a brick and mortar store, you can optimize your listings and your online store to really be optimized for local shopping. It's a really big benefit that brick and mortar stores have, where if I am here in Austin, Texas, and I am looking for a mattress, anybody, even if I'm searching on my phone, and I think I'm going to go buy it in person, Google's going to show me things that are in my vicinity, higher than things that are not, or at least people who are actively writing for that and optimizing for that. So essentially what you can do there, understanding that people who often buy in-store are buying at a higher price point, is make sure that they are doing product research with you, and that you are at least locally capitalizing on that product interest and trying to drive foot traffic into your store. So that's one way. So with products that have high average order value, so again, more expensive goods, a lot of people are seeing a lot of success with consumer financing. So say if you sell, a watch for $500, which I have learned recently isn't actually an expensive watch. Someone was like, no, Tracey, like $2,000 is expensive. I was like, wow, I had no idea. I don't buy watches apparently. Anyway, but if you have, say, a $500 or $2,000 watch, a lot of people on those sites are beginning to implement consumer financing. So whether that's Klarna, PayPal has a version of this. Affirm is another brand where essentially that platform right there at checkout will allow a customer to say, hey, yes, I want to do this consumer financing. It'll check their credit, and at checkout, they only pay, say, $30, and they're going to pay that over the course of the next 12 months. You as the retailer actually get all the money up front, and that technology piece in the middle is what takes on the actual interest rate and making sure that the customer pays. So that tends to be a good way, at least on mobile and desktop, to try to capture people who are a little off put by price, but actually really want to get something.
Really interesting input. So I know you guys found out something really interesting about when and where, in terms of, time and location, customers shop.
Sure. Yeah. So, customers shop everywhere. One, a lot of people are shopping at work. A lot of people are shopping in their bathrooms. A lot of people are shopping after they have a few glasses of wine. The amount of people that shop doing those things kind of differs by age group and honestly, if you have kids or not. So one of the really interesting things that came out of the study, though looking at it, I'm like, this makes so much sense, is that people who have kids, particularly kids that are still in the home or are younger, which if they're younger, they're still in the home anyway. Those people tend to shop on Amazon almost exclusively. They aren't really looking very many other places for products. And that's just because it's convenient for them. They're already shopping on Amazon for their diapers and their bottles and, their cereal and whatever else it is. And then they're continuing to shop there for additional items like clothing and other goods, where you see people who are younger or who do not have children, as well as people who are like empty nesters, I suppose. A lot of them are doing more niche research. They seem to have a little bit more time, and they're looking a little bit more for actual websites in and of themselves, and tend to search a little bit more off of Amazon.
All right. So let's say a young guy wanted to buy sneakers. He would buy it from Nike or the brand itself?
Potentially, yeah. I mean, a young guy that wanted to buy sneakers is probably going to go to Google, type in a few things, see what he can find. He might not actually end up buying from Nike. He might find some really cool new brand that, really convinced him with their product photography and all of their customer reviews. And now he's going to buy that product because, not too many people he knows has those. And he feels, like he's one of the first to find this cool brand. Whereas parents who don't have as much time, if they need new sneakers, they're probably going to go find Nike on Amazon because they know Nike's a trusted brand. They know Amazon will get it to them at one of the lowest price points and in the fastest time.
Cool. So an e-commerce store, I'm thinking in terms of tailoring their shopping experience to that. Is that not then about knowing who primarily shops from them, what age group and what kind of people, and then tailor it?
It is, yeah. So understanding your customer personas is very, very important. And yeah, I mean, when people are buying from individual websites, they're looking for an emotional connection. Shopping is emotional, less so on Amazon, a lot more so on independent websites where you need to show people videos. You need to show people what the product actually looks like. You need to show other people who like the product, who say really great things about the product. You need to show where this has been featured, show a really great Instagram account. All of those things really add to the overall trust of that brand for the consumer. Whereas a lot of products already over on Amazon, people are just trusting Amazon to surface and provide the best customer service and price point.
Here's the $1 million question. What factors affect the customer's decision to actually buy from you? And how can you tailor your site and services to make them buy even more?
Yeah, so shipping and convenience are big ones. Shipping is actually one of the biggest ones. Just shipping cost in general, as well as the time for a product to get there. So as everybody knows, Amazon will do 2-day shipping, and now the whole industry has essentially kind of switched over to that. That is a really big point for customers, making sure that a product gets to them quickly. But a lot of customers are willing to forego a product getting to them quickly if they can get it shipped for free. So money matters a lot to them there. They're like, okay, yeah, whatever. I'll wait 2 weeks if I don't have to pay for it at all. But the ideal for the customer is to not have to pay for it and to get it very quickly, right? And customers are very much looking for that. Price points in general matter a lot to them. There are a lot of people out there doing comparison research. Again, Amazon is a big, presence in all of our lives and world, and people have gotten accustomed to checking prices there and looking at other things, and that behavior is now off of Amazon as well, where even if they're looking at your website, they're probably looking at similar products on a few other websites. And so it's going to be really important for you to really convey value on your page. I try to tell a bunch of the retailers I work with, like, it's not necessarily about winning the lowest price point every single time. It's about winning the value game. How much value are you bringing? How much trust can you bring to a page? People value all of that information just as much as price. But of course, you don't want to be like the only $200 sweater if everybody else is selling theirs for like 60.
Yeah, good point. I'm thinking in terms of like value and trust. Would you then say to incorporate recommendations on the site or on the product?
Oh, yeah.
Or, yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So social reviews and recommendations, I would say, are probably the like number one most important thing that you can have on any single product page, whether that's on Amazon or your own web store, both on Amazon and your own web store, which is being indexed by Google. Both Google's algorithm and Amazon's algorithm highly value customer reviews, and a lot of them. So the more you have, the higher you're going to move up in results on both of those. But beyond that, the more you have, the likely more people are going to convert on your page, because people are. So one of the biggest problems with buying online, and I think all of us know this just well because we do it, is you can't actually see the product, right? You can see it. There's a picture of it, but you can't touch it. You can't, swing it. If it's a golf club, you can't put it on. If it's a shirt. So to supplement that, what people have done instead is look to anonymous sources, people who have bought that item, to see if they like it or not. And what you'll actually find, I think there was a study not too long ago that said that a lot of people on Amazon, as soon as they get to a product page, will go down and click on the 1-star reviews, no matter how many 5-star ones there are, just to see like, hey, what's the catch with this product? And people are going to do that 100%. And it's because people want to know. Yeah, people want to know what other people have said. So you got to get customer reviews on there. It's good for your organic rankings in general. More people are going to find you. And then it's also really, really good for your conversions. Nobody's going to want to buy $100 any item if nobody else has reviewed it, right? To a customer that holds no trust value.
And I'm thinking, if you don't have any recommendations or you want to sort of win them over anyway, would that then be offering really good returns, a good return policy? Yeah,
a fabulous return policy is really, really important. And also writing that return policy in a way that doesn't sound like legalese, like actually writing it like a person and then upholding it is very important. People are looking for that. You can also work with, influencers and family members. I mean, if you're a store that's just getting started and you're like, oh God, people aren't buying my product, so I can't get reviews. And it's this like cyclical thing, right? Send stuff out to some influencers and to friends and family, and start really working locally to get people to come online and begin reviewing items. Again, it's one of those things that like once you kind of knock that first domino over, they're going to all start going. Once you do get a bunch of people buying your products, there are a bunch of services and tools that you can use to automate people coming back and reviewing a product. So Yotpo, for instance, will integrate with, once a product is delivered, about 3 days after that, it'll send that customer an email and ask them if they want to review that individual product. So at that point in time, you can begin really getting more and more people coming over. You can offer loyalty points for that, or discounts or coupons for that in the case that you might need be. But yeah, getting started can be hard, and I would definitely recommend to looking around to your local community and kind of building local visibility and trust, and getting those people to come online and review things for you.
Amazing. Okay, so the buyer just decided to put it into the basket and then they abandon cart. Why do they do that? Nightmare.
Why do they do that? No one really knows. There's a variety of reasons, I'd imagine. And again, looking to like your own self on why you do it. I know I do it a lot. One is they get busy, right? Something else pops up and they have to go and run and do something else before they can actually put a card or any other information in. A good way to combat that is by using digital wallets, right? So rather than forcing someone to get out their wallet and type in their credit card information, you can use Amazon Pay or PayPal One Touch. There's a variety of solutions out there that I know those two are some of the ones that tend to be working the best, where somebody literally clicks a button and they're checked out, right? So it makes it really easy. That works especially well on mobile, where people often are leaving carts entirely just because, like, I don't know, the light at a red light turned green and now they can't be on their phone. So that's one reason. Another reason is that some people do begin to understand. Some consumers have that abandoned cart emails are a thing, so that you're going to email them or retarget them, potentially with discounts for an item. So I recommend to people in those cases that if somebody has put something in there and given you an email, don't immediately start peppering them with discounts. I think the average right now for people is doing a 3 email abandoned cart series. I say scrap that. Do a full welcome to our brand series where it's like, hey, we noticed that you put this in the cart. Like, so excited that you're interested. Here's what we're all about. Here's who we are. And really build out a welcome stream in the same way you might to someone who just gave you their email because they, wanted to join your newsletter list, right? Build value that way. You do not have to play this pricing race to the bottom. What people will ultimately shop with you because they trust you, because they believe you, because you hold the same values as they do. Sure, discounts are really nice, but first get to them from that angle. Become part of their lifestyle and a part of their thinking. And the way that you do that is by literally just welcoming them into your community, explaining who you are. And trying to build trust and value through information and through good ideas and deals and conversation.
Amazing. So did your survey point towards anything the consumers ask for?
Yeah. So it did. So one, better site search is something that a lot of people are looking for. A lot of consumers find it hard to find products when they get to a website. So that would definitely be useful. Faceted search is helpful for that. There are larger services like Hawk Search, for instance, that does some really cool stuff, though I know that's pretty expensive. So that's an important one, as is just more photos. Like, if all you can offer people on your web store beyond social reviews is just photos and videos of the product, that is what people want. Show it to them in 360. If you sell golf clubs, like, have a video of you out there swinging each one of those golf clubs so they can like slow it down, see what it looks like. Show them real pictures of like real customers using the product, real pictures or real videos of them using the product. People are trying to get a sense for what you're offering. And if you only have 3 or 4 pretty, bland white background pictures up there, those are important to have. Those are like the base level. It's like table stakes. After that, you really need to continue building it up. 1, it builds trust. 2, it helps the consumer just feel more confident in the item that they're buying and the money that they're giving you.
All right. So just to sum up this whole really, really interesting facts about consumer behavior, what are the absolute must-knows that every retailer needs to know about their consumer habits?
Yeah, I would say the number one thing to know is that everybody is pressed for time. So you, as a retailer, need to do everything in your power to convey value and to get your information across in the shortest amount of time as possible. So few ways to do that. Video is a good way to do it, especially on mobile. But so too are actually, drawing out your product, showing people how it's built, why it's built that way, kind of doing these like graphic take aparts, right? Or if you're an American-made product or an eco-friendly product, if you have things like that you really want to advertise, just saying it on your site is not enough. Just saying it on your product page is not enough. You need some type of graphic image that's going to draw the eye to it and make it very clear. Again, all of us, whether we're on a web store or on Amazon or even just walking in and out of a brick and mortar store, are looking for those really top and fast cues, essentially, that help us identify with a retailer and make us decide to give them a few more seconds, right? Otherwise, we're gone. So I think that was really the ultimate finding across the board is different geographies do different things, different people do different things. Parents shop differently than the rest of us do. But at the end of the day, all of us are we're going to a lot of different sites and spending a small amount of time on each one of those. And as a retailer, you need to think through how to create an experience that caters to what that person who is searching a bunch of sites and getting irritated because they can't find what they want, how can you be the one that has what they want, that shows them what they want in the visual way that they want to see it.
Tracey, that was amazing. Thank you so much for your time.
Sure, anytime. Again, thanks so much for having me.
That's all from E-commerce Boost this time round. If you're lost for ideas as to how you can collect leads on your site, we here at Sleeknote have created this massive spreadsheet with just about 75 list building ideas. They're rated based on difficulty and impact, and we'll keep updating it. So just send me a screenshot of your 5-star rating on iTunes and you'll get this cool resource for free. My email is jf@sleeknote.com and I've included that in the show notes as well. So till next time, cheers.
This session of E-commerce Boost was produced by Sleeknote. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on tactics and strategies that'll help boost your e-commerce.